Once upon a time in adequately advanced magic.
So, I found a piece of paper that says this has an address, and I figured it's probably from our parents. And now we're here.
Herbert is like, yeah, I think I know who your dad is. I can take you go see him tomorrow. As the group arrives at the camp, the security guards sort of push the three of you and Lloyd forward. Herbert says, I hope you thought more about the deal I offered, because I got your daughter and your son right here. The kobolds open fire into the orc, and the orcs open fire back. And then suddenly there's a net that comes up from the ground and pulls the entire rest of the party up into the air. The orcs herd Lloyd, Kaurnflek, and Goblet into one of the tents, and they throw you into the cage and take all your stuff.
Gobplerk looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, covered in mud, approaching the orc camp.
Welcome to Falcon's Reach, a city in which magic is technology. You're listening to Adequately Advanced Magic.
Kaurnflek and Goblet, the orcs toss you into a rather small 5 by 5 foot wooden cage set inside this orcish hut. One of them takes your plant, Goblet, and chucks it on the ground 5 feet away. And the orcs head outside. Inside the hut, you see your plant about 5 feet away, as well what appears to be a chest containing all of your stuff. Other than that, it appears to be relatively empty, except for some miscellaneous ropes just lying around.
Goblet asks, do you think the orcs are going to eat us?
Lloyd replies, no, I heard they stopped doing that years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can just wait for Gobplerk to rescue us, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Do you believe in Gobplerk?
I believe in family. Kaurnflek is hugging her knees, patiently waiting already.
Goblet is thinking about all those times Gobplerk snuck attack and did so much damage to the enemies. And he also agrees. I have faith in Gobplerk. I think he's gonna come rescue us. And then he sits down and closes his eyes and starts meditating.
Wow, Goblet, you're really calm.
It comes with many years of not being calm. Do you want to try?
Sure, I guess.
Alright, so you sit down and you breathe in and you breathe out. And as you're breathing in, you say to yourself, I'm breathing in. And as you breathe out, you say, I'm breathing out.
You guys can talk while breathing in? Can you show me?
Oh no, you say it inside your head using your thoughts.
Oh man.
Lloyd, how's your meditating going?
Lloyd has fallen asleep.
That's good. That's good. I think it's good if you fall asleep. That means your body needs to sleep. Goblet goes back to meditating.
A couple of minutes later, one of the orcs comes in. He's standing at regular orc height, which is very tall compared to you guys, and he's the one who had the cricket bat earlier. He swapped out his military fatigues for what appears to be an apron with the Smoothie Lord logo imprinted on top. He comes over to the cage and he says, hi, and he looks expectantly at you guys.
Goblet opens one eye and looks up, very up, and says, hello, what's your name? I'm Goblet.
I'm Jurg Fruit Smasher.
Jurg Fruit Smasher?
Yeah,
Fruit smasher?
Fruit Smasher.
Fruit
What do you-
Smasher or Fruit Smasher?
Fruit Smasher.
Fruit Smasher. So one Fruit Smasher.
Yes, but fruit can also be plural.
In which case, then you're plural Fruit Smasher.
Well, fruit itself.
Is fruit singular or plural? Oh wait, no. Scratch that. Goblet doesn't know how to read.
Fruit itself in the English vernacular is can be a both singular and plural noun.
Goblet lies back down, overwhelmed by the grammar talk.
Jerk moonlights as a grammarian.
What were you doing with those kobold infidels?
Well, we ran away from plant dogs, and they shot the dogs for us, and then let us stay, and then they tried to shoot us, and so we ran away.
So you're not with Moondeer Coffee?
No, that one man was mean. Never trust someone with a suit.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
That's a 2. Oh, yeah, 2.
Jurg Fruit Smasher looks at you suspiciously.
Goblet sits up and asks Jurg Fruit Smasher, well, everything that Kaurnflek said was true. She wouldn't lie. So it being the truth, there's nothing for you to worry about. We were taken captive by them, and they tried to kill us. So if they tried to kill us, that means they don't like us, and it seems like you don't like them. So it seems like then you should like us. Do you like us?
The Fruit Mother will decide.
Fruit mother.
The fruit mother.
Like Gob Daddy. Do you think they're married? Are they our parents?
I don't know. Are you actually asking?
I'm just saying this, like, to myself.
Jurg is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you willing to accept the trial of fruit?
Kaurnflek raises her hand and says, can we buy some insurance first? Our money's in that chest over there.
Fruit insurance?
Does that protect my life or the fruit?
Probably the fruit.
Is it good fruit?
We have only the best fruit.
I'll think about it.
He looks insulted that you suggested otherwise.
Yeah, let's do it. What is this? The Fruit Mother test?
It's the trial of fruit.
The trial of fruit. Okay, what do we have to do? Also, can you explain what fruit is?
Oh, you're right.
Jurg nods knowingly, and he says, I see you have not seen the ways of fruit. You see, long ago, when the first orcs were sent to the botanical garden, a vision came to me of the Fruit Mother, and since then, we have devoted ourselves to giving up meat and embracing fruitarianism, and also to await the one true Smoothie Lord. Once you pass the trial of fruit, we will willingly accept you into our arms, and you will become one of us. Somewhere in the background, there's orcs going like, one of us, one of us.
Goblet turns his head to the side, confused, and asks,
Oh, right. Sorry. Fruit is this thing that comes from trees.
I was gonna say, you didn't explain, you didn't say anything about what it is.
and then Goblet leans back and says, okay.
Kaurnflek points to the plant and is like, is that a fruit?
No, that's a plant.
Oh man, I don't think we'll be very good at this test.
The Fruit Mother will decide.
Goblet agrees with Kaurnflek. He says, yeah, I didn't know what fruit was until you just told me, so this might not be the best idea for us. Why don't you just let us go? I mean, do you want us to be your brothers in fruit? Your fruit brothers and sisters?
Once again, he says, the Fruit Mother will decide.
Okay, alright.
He swings his cricket bat into the ground.
Is that fruit?
Kaurnflek was about to ask if the test was multiple choice or short answer and decides not to.
At the sound of Jurg hitting the ground with his fruit-smashing bat, several orcs come in, and they heard the three of you outside.
Is Lloyd awake?
Yeah, Lloyd is awake. Lloyd is like, what are we doing?
We're going to talk to the mother of fruit.
And the orcs escort you outside. And we cut over to Gobplerk. Gobplerk, from your vantage point, you see most of the layout of the west wing of the Falcon's Reach Botanical Garden. On the outskirts, you see that there's a central path with orchards on each side. Among them are a couple of storage sheds, and along the main path, you see that there's a number of orcs patrolling up and down. Also with the orc patrols are various orcs who are tending to the trees and also using floating discs to carry fruit around. Behind the orchards is the entrance arch to the west wing, and you see that there's 2 pairs of armed orc guards guarding the entrance. Beyond that, you see what appears to be the orc village with numerous huts, but it's a little bit hard to make out from here.
Did I see my friends get taken into the orc village?
Yeah.
And I'm currently in like a tree, right?
Yeah.
Camouflage, right? You have your like.
Oh yeah, I had
painted your
like a leaf hat. So right now, Gobplerk's sitting in one of the branches. His legs dangling. He's holding Squeaksies in his hand, and he's having a strategy meeting with Squeaksies. He says, "I don't know, Squeaksies. They went in there. Oh, those orcs, they're probably doing all kinds of mean things. The orcs are terrible. Oh, they might get getting beat up or hurt or, all kinds of terrible things.
Squeak.
What do we do, Squeaksies? Should I try to fight those orcs? They look so strong.
Squeak, squeak. He reminds you that you're sort of scared of orcs.
Yeah, I don't think I could beat them like that. What if we sneak in? You think that might be a good idea?
Squeak.
It's just so bright outside right now.
Actually, it's about evening time now.
It's getting darker now, so it might be a good idea. Good time to sneak in.
Squeak.
Gobplerk takes a closer look. Other than the floating discs, are there any like large wagons or other such contrivances being used?
It's mainly these floating discs. There might be like a unused wagon sort of laying about, but those haven't been used in quite some time.
And the entrance gate to the west wing, is it like a wall with a door? Is it like a fence with a door? Like, what is it?
It's about like a 20-foot wide open entranceway with various barricades. Yeah, no real fence or wall.
Well, Squeaksies, I think if maybe we go in the twilight and we go from cover to cover, I might be able to just sneak by those orcs, because I'm small, you're small, and maybe they won't see us. What do you think?
Squeak.
Okay. So that is now Gobplerk's plan. And he clambers down the tree and he makes his approach.
Yeah. A few minutes later, you find yourself at the edge of the orchard line. In the distance, you can still see that there's a couple of orcs working still, even though it's getting dark. You head in?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and do a sneak check.
Not too bad. 22.
Yeah. You're able to time your advance based on the location of the orcs.
He's also like 2 feet tall, right? So it just kind of looks like a tumbleweed.
Yeah. There's at least one shot where it's you as a bush. The orc looks at you and then turns back to whatever it was doing, and then you like creep along, and then he looks back again, and you've moved like 10 feet, but it doesn't like really, it doesn't connect in his head.
Isn't depth perception harder with less light, right? Is that a thing?
But I believe orcs have dark vision.
Oh.
So Twilight's perfect because their eyes are like sometimes night vision, sometimes day vision.
Confused.
As a bush, you arrive close to the central path leading into the west wing.
So describe this village. Is it?
You're still like out on the outskirts.
Outskirts. Okay.
Yeah. So you've basically hit the main path leading into the entranceway with the barricades and such.
So they're still ahead of me.
Yep. Ahead of you see the 2 pairs of orcish guards every now and then just looking at the orcs carrying the floating discs into the village.
Gobplerk tries to find the biggest orc that's gathering fruit, like a real chunker of an orc. And he's gonna try to follow closely behind and like under the bulk, like on the heels of this orc.
All right. Go ahead and do a perception check.
17.
Yeah, you find a pretty big one. He's also wearing one of these aprons that says Smoothie Lord on it, and he's picking what appears to be papaya, but you don't know what that is.
Oh.
And go ahead and roll another stealth check.
It's gonna be 23.
Yep. You're able to sneak up right up behind him. As you do, however, an orc that you managed to not notice earlier turns the corner, and he's just about to basically get field of vision on you. And you have like a split moment decision to make. There's one of these sheds, or there's a very large papaya tree with which to duck behind.
In a moment, Gobplerk assesses the situation. He uses his instincts to guide him to the tree, because that's the last thing he hid behind. And it makes sense to him.
Yeah, you do a crazy tumble roll.
Tumbleweed!
You do a crazy tumbleweed roll behind the papaya tree.
Somehow the Old West little sound clip plays.
Papaya trees, ironically, are not that thick. Kaurnflek, you're barely hidden by the papaya tree, but the orc doesn't notice your presence. As you look around, you see that there is a crate next to this papaya tree.
What's in the crate?
You take a peek. There's a bunch of magitech in here.
Oh. He uses his keen eyes to see what type of magitech it is.
Yeah, you see a bunch of create water, but also some plant growth magitech.
Gobplerk will take all of the magitech that's there and just stuff it into his backpack.
Alright, let me roll for you. The create waters, you get 4.
Wow.
Wow.
The plant growth, you get 1. And it comes with the associated magitite.
Wow.
Nice.
The chonky orc bro, who you located earlier, loads up his floating tensor's disc, and he starts heading towards the entrance.
Did the other orc that almost saw me move on?
Yeah, he's gone now.
Okay. Gobplerk resumes his sneak into the village.
Yeah. You sneak behind the chonky orc, and he heads towards the west wing entrance. And we're going to cut back to the others. The orcs herd Kaurnflek, Goblet, and Lloyd onto a raised ceremonial platform that is at the end of the orc village. A number of orcs have gathered in front of the stage, and they're all like, "Trial of fruit, trial of fruit, trial of fruit." As you reach the stage, you see that there is a covered table with 3 plates set on top, with another 3 chairs.
Just an eating contest?
No.
Jurg and the other orcs guide you over to the chairs and basically force you to sit down. He raises his cricket bat. He raises his fruit smashing bat up in the air, and suddenly all the orcs that are present quiet down.
Whoosh.
And he says,
"Today we gather for the trial of fruit. The fruit mother will pass her judgment upon these infidels and see if they are worthy of fruit. Praise the fruit mother. Let the trial begin."
As Jurg says this, you notice that there's an orc standing behind each of you guys. One behind Kaurnflek, one behind Goblet, and one behind Lloyd, and each of them are carrying one of these fruit-smashing bats. Another orc comes in carrying 3 platters, putting 1 each in front of you guys.
Ooh, suspense.
She lifts up the lid.
Is it steaming?
It's not steaming, revealing a fairly large bowl of strawberries.
Oh.
As she does so, the rest of the orcs are like, "Trial of fruit! Trial of fruit!" And then they're like, "Eat! Eat!" Lloyd looks at the 2 of you guys, and he's just like, "Well, here goes nothing." And he eats the strawberries.
I think Kaurnflek follows suit. There's nothing else really to do.
Goblet also eats the strawberries, but makes sure to take each one and ponder the strawberry before eating it. Where did it come from? Who is it?
Who are you?
Why is it here? Yeah, who are you?
Kaurnflek and Goblet, the 2 of you have never had strawberries before, and
Oh.
good God, these are delicious.
Kaurnflek starts shoving them in her mouth.
Goblet starts stuffing them into his mouth, and juice is dribbling down his chin. And he stopped contemplating each strawberry because each one tastes so good, and his mind is shooting and firing on all cylinders. Synapses are snapping.
The Ratatouille moment. Except it's only
you
one
have a
thing.
whole flashback to your childhood.
Goblet's never eaten these, but he's heard of this mysterious state.
but
of
it
bliss.
reminds you of your mother's love.
He thinks this is akin to the mysterious state of bliss that he's heard other meditators talk about.
Yeah, the two of you clear out your bowls of strawberry, and both of you guys go ahead and do a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Got a 6.
11.
Yeah, the two of you pass.
Oh.
The orcs in the crowd go nuts. They're like,
Yeah! Fruit mother!
Mother.
Fruit mother!
Fruit, mother.
Fruit.
Kaurnflek definitely starts chanting with them. Fruit.
Goblet collapses in his chair, realizing he probably ate too much.
The orcish lady takes away your plates, and then comes back a few minutes later with another bowl.
Oh, it's not over.
This time she lifts up the lid, revealing a very large portion of plums.
Have we eaten plums before?
Nope.
I think Kaurnflek just goes for it and then takes a bite.
Yeah, Lloyd also just goes for it too. He's just like,
Goblet also goes. Starts eating them too.
yeah. The three of you guys clear your bowl of plums and go ahead and do another Constitution saving throw.
But what about the pits?
One of the orcs is kind enough to be like,
Okay.
hey, you shouldn't eat that.
Okay, good.
Like very calmly, hey, you shouldn't eat that.
Yeah. Don't eat the hard parts, okay? It'll make you sick. A plant will grow in your stomach.
Thank you. I got a 13.
I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, you guys are still feeling pretty good.
Alright, Goblet this time collapses forward onto the table.
Kaurnflek's still feeling good.
Again, the orcs are like,
Fruit mother! Fruit!
the orcish lady takes away your plum bowls and replaces it with a bowl of apples.
Kaurnflek says, hey, are you sure you guys should be giving this out for free? Isn't this
Trial
whole
of fruit!
Okay.
Goblet needs a break, so he takes one apple and starts tossing it into the air and catching it.
All of the orcs are like,
Eat the fruit!
the orcs behind you with the fruit smashing bats leer at you.
Kaurnflek takes a bite and realizes they're hard and is kind of trying to rip it apart into more bite-sized pieces. But I think she gives up and then just ends up biting it.
Goblet turns around and says, Psst, Mr. Orc, can you help me and smash the apples? That's what the bat's made for, right? We should all do what we're made for.
Not for those undergoing the trial of fruit.
Says who? The fruit mother?
Go ahead and do a religion check, because we've never done that before.
Sweet, I have +2 on religion.
Nice.
I got a 7.
The orc is just like,
No, we must follow the rules of the fruit mother. No smashing allowed.
he looks like he's about to smash you, though.
Goblet decides to not ask, why not fruit father? And turns around and starts eating the apples.
Alright, once again, Constitution saving throw.
What? Whoa. Are you gonna... If we do well, are you gonna run out of fruits eventually?
Yeah. Is that the fruit trial until you die? I got a 16.
I got a 5.
Ruh-roh.
Kaurnflek, the continued amounts of fruit are starting to get to you. And you got level 1 in exhaustion, which is disadvantage on ability checks.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, your stomach is like, you got the food baby thing going on already. Meanwhile, Goblet, you seem like you're fine, actually.
Even though Goblet is fine, he's also feeling it and kind of leans against the left side of his chair.
Lloyd looks in the direction of the two of you, and he's just like, guys, I don't feel so good. He looks a little bit green. And we're gonna go ahead and cut back to Gobplerk. Gobplerk, you're following this chunky orc who is transporting fruit back into the village. The two of you arrive outside the entrance into the west wing. And just as you expect the orc to walk through, he suddenly makes a stop. Where are you hiding exactly?
I'm basically following right on his heels.
Yeah, he makes a sudden stop, Go ahead and do a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity. Ooh. 8 plus 6, so 14.
Yeah, just barely you're able to stop yourself from running into the orc. He looks at one of the guards and he says, "Hey Sam, how's it going?" Sam replies, "Oh hey Eric, how's it going?" Same old. I guess we're doing another trial of fruit." "Yep, seems like it. If you head back in now, you can maybe make the after party." Eric chuckles. "Well, you know those guys never make it through, right? I mean, we keep giving them orc-sized portions." "Well, we have the party afterwards anyways." And they both laugh. Gobplerk, go ahead and do another sneak check.
19.
They give each other a friendly handshake, and then the orc you've been following heads back in to the village.
Gobplerk makes sure that he stays hidden from that guard's view as he follows Eric inside.
Eric?
Uric. He takes one last glance at Sam the guard, knowing that one day he'll see him again. In his head, Gobplerk is thinking to himself, "Oh no, I knew it. They're doing something terrible to them. I gotta find them."
Yeah. You've now reached the main orc village, and there's like a central pathway that the botanical garden had. But now, with the orcs here, they've uprooted most of the plants to put down their huts along the central pathway. Further down, you see that there's a crowd of orcs, and they seem to be standing in front of a stage of some sorts. And go ahead and do a perception check.
It's gonna be a 4.
Yeah, it's hard to make out what's going on. There's just people screaming about fruit, which you're not particularly familiar with. There's various huts alongside this central pathway.
Gobplerk, imagination's running away with him as far as what's happening to his poor friends on the stage for these terrible, terrible orcs. So he knows he has to get closer, but there's just so many of them. He tries to see if there's a way he can get a view of it without having to, like, go into the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and do a perception check.
14.
Yeah, the tents are tall enough where you could probably get a pretty good vantage point if you can climb up on top.
Alright, so he scouts around for a tent that's maybe a little bit more out of the way, and he clambers up the side with his claws, careful not to rip the hut.
Do a dexterity check, just to climb up.
It's gonna be 21.
Yeah, you climb up no problem. You solid snake your way.
It's a bit of a scurry.
Up onto the top of the tent.
He braces himself for the horrors he's about to witness.
As you reach the top of the tent, you see that your friends are on stage, eating.
Huh? They're okay. Oh, I think they're okay. Why are they all... And then at that point, Goblet doesn't say anything, but he motions with his hands into like a spherical shape.
In the distance, the orcs are all like, fruit, mother, fruit, mother.
How am I gonna get them out of there? Oh no. Is this a circular stage?
No.
So it's like against a wall or on the side of a building or...
Yeah, it's like against the wall of the back end of the West Wing.
And the orcs are surrounding it?
Yeah, they're mainly standing in front, and there's like a couple of tents that lead up to this ceremonial platform.
Gobplerk's got Squeaky's on his shoulder, and they're both kind of like looking at the stage. Gobplerk's kind of like talking under his breath to himself, and to Squeaky he's like, "How in the world am I gonna get them out of there? There's just too many orcs."
Squeak. Squeak.
I could set the whole village on fire, but that might be dangerous. What do you think, Squeaksies?
Squeak, squeak.
Maybe I can let them know I'm here, and I can help them if they want to try to make a break for it.
Squeak.
Was that that's a good idea, Squeak? Or whatever you think is best, Squeak.
Do an animal handling check.
Animal handling check, because we never do those.
Finally getting in all these checks that we never do.
Right? 13.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the history check next. Actually, I'm gonna try and do an insight check next.
Squeaksy seems to be mostly ambivalent.
Gobplerk looks through his pack for anything useful. So Gobplerk was thinking to himself, what if I used the plant growth on those fruit things? They're like plants, right? Yeah. Would that make them grow?
Squeak. Squeak, squeak.
Okay. Do I have any leftover animal handling?
What is your question exactly?
If Squeezy thought that was a good idea. Because in hindsight, as long as they didn't accidentally swallow any of the pits, they really would have a plant grow inside them.
Oh shit! It all comes around.
Yeah, but Goblet doesn't know about how pits and seeds work for fruits, so he doesn't consider that. Squeaksies might be more well-read.
I need to give now I have to give Squeaksies a personality.
Yes, of course.
Squeaksies is just like, yeah, bro, I believe in you.
Thanks, Squeaksies. You've always been there for me. Okay, let's try and get closer, and I'll use the magic check. I just gotta stay hidden, okay? Me and you will hide and sneak up just close enough. Maybe along the sides. Yeah, we'll take the sides.
Squeak.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
Okay, that's the plan. Just gonna try to get within 100 feet. Shouldn't be too bad. At least it's not like 30 feet.
Meanwhile, the orcs continue to yell at you, Kaurnflek, Goblet, and Lloyd. And they're really going like nuts now. They're just like, yeah! Like the frat bro-ness of the orcs is really coming out. And they're all just like, fruit!
Fruitarian frat bros.
The orc lady takes away your apple cores and replaces them with mangoes.
Whoa. Goblet looks over at Lloyd and he tries to pass. He tries to take a mango and passes it. Is Lloyd next to Goblet or Kaurnflek?
We can say it's Kaurnflek, Goblet, and Lloyd.
Kaurnflek, Goblet, and Lloyd. Okay, so Goblet elbows both Kaurnflek and Lloyd and then tries to stuff a mango into his clothes.
Okay, go ahead and do a sleight of hand check.
Ooh, natural 20. The 23.
They rolled a 16.
Oh.
Whose mango do you take?
Oh, I try and take my own mango so I don't have to eat as much, but then I also want Kaurnflek and Lloyd to see so that they can also try and sneakily put mangoes into their pockets as well, or down their clothes.
You sleight of hand a mango into your pocket.
Okay.
Somehow no one notices.
Oh wait, so do we notice? Does Kaurnflek notice?
Yeah, we can say that Goblet gave you guys sort of like a heads up in terms of, I don't know, what did you do exactly, Willie?
Oh, I just elbow them, try to get them to look at me, and then try to get them to see that I took a mango and just stuffed it in my pocket, as opposed to eating it.
Yeah, so both Kaurnflek and Lloyd see this.
Okay, I think so. Kaurnflek goes like yum 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 and tucks her shirt in because she's wearing a big shirt, right? And she starts putting them down the collar of her shirt, and she's like leaning down so that like you can see her head, but you can't see under her.
Yeah, go ahead and do a sleight of hand check.
With advantage? I think I'm pretty sneaky.
No, just a normal one.
Oh man, I got a nat
Oh, no.
One of the orcs behind you sees this, and he marches up with his fruit-smashing bat, and he says, "Hey, no cheating." And he signals the lady, and the lady brings out a second platter of mangoes.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess she starts eating them.
Lloyd also attempts to eat his mangoes. What about you, Goblet?
Are these peeled?
Oh, that's a good question.
Sure. Yeah, they do that for you. They're nice enough to do that.
Okay, all right.
They want us to die, but they peeled mangoes for us.
Goblet also starts to eat them, but he rests assured that he has to eat one less. But now that he can eat one less, he tries to take one from Kaurnflek's plate and he tries to eat it sneakily. He's as he's eating, he makes extra noise. He's like, Normally he's like om nom nom, but he's like om rom rom rom. Hopefully he uses that as a distraction to take one off of Kaurnflek's plate.
All right, one more sleight of hand check.
11.
Oh no.
As you try to reach towards Kaurnflek's mangoes, one of the orcs behind you sees this, and he hits your hand with the I keep seeing cricket bat, but with the fruit smashing bat.
No cheating.
Goblet says, "But fruit."
That's a very good argument.
Yeah, exactly.
that is a pretty good argument. Go ahead and do a persuasion check.
All right. 15.
The orc is like, well, okay.
These all taste good to us, right? Like they're still tasting good.
I mean, it all tastes good, but you're starting to hit the point where it doesn't taste good.
All right.
Both of you guys go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 17.
Kaurnflek, do it with a disadvantage,
Oh.
actually.
All right. 9.
13 for Goblet.
Kaurnflek, you've had a double portion of mangoes, and now you're getting, like, explosively full. You've now reached level 2 in exhaustion, which is your speed is halved.
Dang.
That makes sense. She can only roll places
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Goblet, you also are starting to reach uncomfortable levels of fruit, and you're now at level 1
Exhausted.
exhaustion.
All
Yeah,
right.
so disadvantage on ability checks. Gobplerk, what are you doing as you see your friends? Well, first of all, you see Kaurnflek eat just like a shit ton of these very large spherical things. Spherical? Oval? Ovocular?
Oblong.
Ovular.
Oblong.
Ovular.
Guys, we're the most professional Dungeons and Dragons podcast out there.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, ovular would feel like ovum, and an ovum is like egg, and an egg is kind of like shaped like a mango. So I think you were right.
Yeah, Gobplerk, what are you doing?
Gobplerk is hurrying to the rescue of his friends, just rushing to get within range of the plant growth spell.
Yeah, go ahead and do one more stealth check. Which direction are you headed exactly? Just like sort of sneaking around but behind the tents?
Yeah, he was doing a flanking maneuver around the tents near the sides of the stage.
Yeah.
Not as good. 6 plus 8, 14.
Yeah. There's an orc that's just hanging out back here for some reason, but he fails to notice you, and you slink on behind him. You rapidly approach the ceremonial stage, and from one of the tents on, I guess like on the right, you have a pretty good line of sight onto the stage.
Gobplerk readies the Magitech in one hand, and in the other hand grips his dagger, and he uses the reflection from the dagger to try to shine a light in the eyes of his friends. And if he sees any of them look his way, he'll cast plant growth at that time.
Okay. The orc lady removes the mango pits, and she replaces the mangoes with cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
Oh no! Oh no! The final boss.
This is not the final boss. We haven't gotten to watermelon yet.
Oh god.
Watermelon is mostly water. I can probably eat a whole watermelon by myself.
The orcs go nuts. They're like, cantaloupe!
Is Gobplerk shining on us right now?
Everybody makes a perception check.
Do we have disadvantage on this? Because we're
Yes.
exhausted? Okay.
Because you're exhausted now.
I got a 16.
Alright, first one is 13. Second one is 7. So I take the lower of the two?
Yeah.
7.
Kaurnflek, out of the corner of your eye, you spy something shining at you. And as you take a look, you realize it's Gobplerk shining a knife at you, hiding behind a tent.
I think she goes like, ahem, and then says, like, man, I really wish my friends could eat this fruit. It just seems right. Is he on the right side?
Like on your left,
On my left?
actually.
Okay. She's like, all the friends we left.
Does Goblet understand the code?
Well,
How about you do an insight check?
Insight.
Oh.
Sweet.
so many checks.
But with disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Alright, first one is 8. Alright, second one was 9.
You have no idea what she's talking about.
She must have that food delirium.
What about Lloyd?
Yeah, Lloyd will roll. He rolls a
Okay.
3.
He's more
Cantaloupe's
clueless.
actually his favorite fruit.
Yeah, he's just like rum, 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 rum.
He gets a second wind.
He had it once as a small child. He's been craving it ever since. That's why he became an alcoholic.
Okay, can I do another thing then? If I notice that my friends don't notice.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like, while I'm eating cantaloupe, I'm gonna turn to the left, but like the way I'm holding cantaloupe is a thumbs up, because I don't know what he's doing, but I'll just say that, like, it's just to let him know that I saw him.
Alright, Goblet, what are you doing?
Goblet lifts his head, he had his head on the table like how you sleep in school. And when they bring the cantaloupe, he peeks up with one eye and puts his head back down.
The orcs are just like, eat! Eat!
Goblet sits up and gets out of his chair and turns around to ask the orc behind him, "What happens if I don't eat?"
We beat you to death.
Oh. So he turns around and starts eating. but then he stops. He has another thought, and mid chew, he turns around with his mouth still full, and he's like, "What? Can I throw up?
No.
What happens if I do?"
That means the fruit mother has judged you.
Judgment isn't so bad.
Judged you for death.
That's bad. So he continues
Some
eating.
Oscar level acting. Alright, Constitution saving throws for
Is this with
Kaurnflek
disadvantage?
and... Not
normal.
yet,
Wait.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, this is normal.
Well,
Okay.
it's fine. I got a 11.
9.
Both of you fail. The cantaloupe is
Oh,
too much.
No, the fruit mother has judged us.
Kaurnflek, you've now hit level 3, which is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. That's exhaustion.
Okay, well, we're not attacking right now.
The saving throws part is more dangerous at the moment. Goblet, you're now at level 2. Your speed is halved.
Okay.
How's Lloyd doing?
Lloyd looks terrible.
What color is he now? He was green earlier.
He's even more green. He's like dark green.
He's not orange from the cantaloupe?
No, it almost seems like he's about to like turn into a plant. All right, Gobplerk, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Gobplerk, seeing the cantaloupe held up by his sister, takes the Magitech and, with the force of will, casts plant growth on the stage.
Kaurnflek, you notice that the cantaloupe is growing larger and larger in your hand. And the orc crowd notices this, and a hush spreads throughout the crowd. The cantaloupe gets bigger and bigger.
So, Goblet is still at level 1. Level 2 exhaustion now, right? Level 2 exhaustion. So, he's struggling, and in the haze of his exhaustion, he sees this cantaloupe growing bigger and bigger, and he tumbles out of his chair and gets on his knees and kind of puts his head down in front of Kaurnflek as if he is praying, but he's actually just exhausted.
Go ahead and do a performance check.
Nailed it.
All according to plan.
Let me see. Alright, first one was 10. The next one is... what is it? 11. So 10.
The orc onlookers are unsure what exactly you're doing, but a whisper breaks out throughout the crowd, and they're like, "Is she the one?"
Oh my god. All according to plan.
She's the fruit mother.
Is she the fruit mother?
What do I do?
Meanwhile, the cantaloupe continues to grow larger and larger. It's about the size of a beach ball now.
I think Kaurnflek hears this and she's like, grow, my child, grow.
People have food babies. I don't know what they meant.
She's definitely like, oh, this is not gonna work.
Goblet also starts to catch on, and he starts writhing on the floor and like talking in tongues.
How does that help?
It doesn't hurt.
He's like,
Lloyd's just like, oh my god, that's a big goddamn cantaloupe. And then it stops growing.
Uh-oh.
And then we cut to Gobplerk.
Why aren't they running? I gave her the signal. She's just holding up in the air. Oh my goodness. Plant growth is supposed to be all normal plants in a 100-foot radius, so maybe it's just a delayed reaction to the other plants.
Yeah, we can roll with that. The cantaloupe stops growing, but then Goblet's cantaloupes also start growing. And then Lloyd's, and then soon there's just there's at least 6 gigantic cantaloupes growing on the stage, and eventually the stage collapses in a crash.
How big are the cantaloupes?
They're about, I don't know, 5 feet wide.
Okay, so much bigger than us.
There's a collective gasp from the orcs, and Goblet, Kaurnflek, and Gobplerk, you hear them go, oh my gosh, she is the one. She is the Smoothie Lord. Is she the fruit mother?
We're out of view now, right? Like they can't see us?
We'll say like the cantaloupes collapse the front part of the stage, and when you guys are like, we're fast enough to back up,
Okay.
Jurg runs up on stage and he's like,
What's happening?
The fruit has spoken to me.
Jurg is just like,
What did the fruit say to you?
I like how he's on board for this.
It's the will of the fruit mother to be hospitable and not kill your guests.
Jurg falls on his knees. he clasps his hands together and he says,
What else does the fruit mother say? What else?
The Kaurnflek says, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
he's busy writing all of this down.
Make sure you get this right. You're just creating a religion.
From now on, fruit is the embodiment of kindness. How dare you use it in this kind of manner?
Jurg makes an orcish howl and he prostrates himself in front of you.
What do we do now?
Goblet also prostrates himself in front of Kaurnflek too.
Wait, that's not very helpful.
The orcish crowd, one by one, row by row,
It's the Return of the King happening.
begins to prostrate themselves.
Goblet looks up to Lloyd and tries to telepathically tell Lloyd to pick Kaurnflek up and walk away. With his eye movements, like eye movements and head movements.
Alright, go ahead. What would this be?
Animal handling?
Go ahead and do a straight wisdom check.
Alright, first one was a 19. Oh man, the next one was a 7. 7.
Lloyd suddenly has this look of fear on his face and he's just like, oh shit! And then he starts prostrating himself too. Goblet, what are you doing?
Goblet, meanwhile, is scratching his head. What in tarnation is happening over there? They're not running. They're kneeling down. She's holding up the cantaloupe. I don't even know no more, Squeaksies.
Squeak.
It looks like they're not hurting them no more, but I don't know what to do.
Kaurnflek is just like, "Oh Jesus." And
Who's
and
Jesus?
I'm Jesus. I'm the fruit Jesus. She like lifts her arms up and is like, "Arise, my children. You may atone for your sins by giving guests food and shelter."
You're still hungry?
Not well. I mean, just in general. You got the food part right, but shelter. But in a good way. Like, don't kill them. That's what I don't like. If you kill them, you will incur the wrath of the fruit mother.
Food and shelter. Food and shelter.
Kaurnflek also has like a baggy T-shirt, like a pair of robes or something. Very
I'm the prophet. I don't know what to do now.
Let the fruit mother speak.
The orcs continue the chant. And then Lloyd, in a moment of inspiration, runs over to you, Kaurnflek, and picks you up in his arms and raises you above his head.
Fruit mother. Fruit mother.
Now I must go back, as I am the queen of fertility? Queen of the harvest. But remember, I will always be watching you from the heavens and or the land.
Lloyd, having picked you up in his hands, walks down the rubble of the stage, basically like in Lion King.
She's like, "Come, my royal and holy steed. There is much work to be done." And she points towards, like, away. And then I go like, "Come, my faithful disciples." And then I cue Gobplerk and Goblet to come follow me.
And Goblet follows, chanting, "Fruit mother, fruit mother."
Kaurnflek, go and roll a performance check.
With disadvantage?
Yeah.
Well, I got a 4.
As Lloyd lifts you up above his head, he starts climbing down the rubble created by the gigantic cantaloupes that are on stage. Once he reaches ground level, the crowd parts like the Red Sea, and he starts slowly heading towards the exit. But then there's a bit of confusion. As you say, "All my disciples,"
That's what did it. That's what made them question.
all of the orcs get up and start following the three of you.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess this is fine, right?
Now you have a procession.
Yes,
Fruit
as
mother.
Lloyd continues, he slowly starts speeding up, and eventually he's like speed walking towards the exit. Gobplerk, what are you doing exactly?
Gobplerk was taken aback for a moment by his sister's speech. He's like, "What in tarnation? I have no idea what is happening right now. I need to make sure they don't get into more trouble." And he starts trying to follow behind them.
Stealthily?
No, at this point he realizes he doesn't have any understanding of what's happening anymore, so he's just gonna walk to join the procession.
Yeah, you pop up right behind Kaurnflek, Goblet, and Lloyd is just like, "Gobplerk, I have no idea what I'm doing right now."
Okay, because from back there I wasn't sure. It didn't seem like I knew what was happening. I didn't know if you knew what was happening. Hopefully my sister knows what's happening. You all right there, sis?
She's just like muttering like, "Shit, what the fuck up? What am I supposed to do? Fuck.
Okay, cool. Looks like everything's under control.
Facing forward, Lloyd is like, Are the orcs still behind us?"
Let me check. And then Goblet slowly turns his head to face behind him. What does he see?
Yes, a sea of orcs follows behind.
Goblet smiles. It turns back around. He's like, yeah, they're still following.
Kaurnflek's like, "Lloyd, turn me around again." Or like to look at them.
Lloyd turns around and starts walking backwards, slowly, because he's very full right now.
Okay. Kaurnflek goes as the smoothie queen, who's gonna make my smoothies if you all come follow me? I need as many people to make smoothies as an offering to the land.
So says the fruit mother. So shall it be.
Amen.
Everybody is walking backwards as you do this.
Yeah.
And just do we'll say Gobplerk helped you with the performance check, so go ahead and do just the normal performance check.
Okay.
Is your religion higher?
I have -2 on performance. Okay.
It could be a religion check, right?
I'll allow it. We never do religion checks, so...
Oh, I have +2 on religion.
Okay, yeah. Give us some background as to why your religion is +2, but your...
She's like, she read a lot of picture books because she worked at a library, right? And
Yep.
this happened to be I bet there are a lot of religious people who donated money to have their books at this particular library.
Placed by the Gideons.
Yeah, so I know how religions in general work, but probably not specifically this one. Yeah. Okay, I got a 17.
The orcs start whispering amongst themselves and they're like, smoothies? Fruit? Smoothies? There's a split moment of silence as the orcs look amongst themselves. And then they run in every which way and direction, running towards the fruit storage facilities.
They're gonna make the biggest smoothie in the world.
And they're all like,
Fruit mother smoothie.
Oh, jeez.
Goblet's caught up in all of this, and he starts to run after them too but he takes a few steps before realizing that he doesn't need to. And he just halts himself, and he turns around, and he's like, "Oh, Gobplerk, it's good to see you. Didn't notice you. Where are we going? What happened?"
I don't rightly know. All of this kind of got away from what I had expected to happen. So I'm just glad you guys are okay.
A bit exhausted, a bit full, but I'm still here.
Lloyd carrying Kaurnflek, plus Gobplerk and Goblet. The four of you guys find yourself outside of the entrance into the west wing of the Falcon's Reach Botanical Garden. There's a moment where all of the orcs run back inside of the village, and there's basically just a riot to get to the smoothie making supplies, also known as fruit. And then something weird happens as the three of you guys are standing outside. The trees nearby grow, and we get larger and larger, and then they start sort of tipping over toward the entrance. And then they just completely fall with a thud, blocking the entranceway into the orc village. And then another weird thing happens. A gentle wind blows from behind you, and all of the leaves and all of the fruit trees nearby almost seem to be pointing in a certain direction.
Not the fruit mother. Not the fruit mother. She's real. Kaurnflek is like, my fruit mother instincts tell me to go that way.
Well, let's go.
Maybe we should follow it.
Lloyd is just like, alright, we're going that way.
Kaurnflek says, Amen.
Lloyd has actually pointed in the completely wrong direction.
Oh.
And as he does, the plants in the direction that he has pointed in sort of close the path
Oh.
by themselves.
Okay.
Lloyd is just like, okay, I guess not that direction.
We march towards the path, but Kaurnflek makes Lloyd carry her the whole time because she says she's the fruit mother.
Yeah. Lloyd carries you, Kaurnflek, and the party heads into the jungle. As you guys head deeper in, the brush clears itself. The path upon which you're walking on becomes clear as you continue on deeper into the forest. And after some distance, you see in the twilight the shape of a four-legged animal with a horn on its head. and the second shape of a kobold sitting on its back,
Whoa.
backlit by the moon.
Whoa.
The kobold says, "Son, daughter, is that you?" Hey everyone, this is Joey, your somewhat okay Dungeon Master. Thanks again for listening to this episode of Adequately Advanced Magic. Remember to subscribe or share the podcast with family and friends if you're enjoying it. We'll likely be taking off a week next week, after which we'll round out this bonus arc and then get back to the main campaign. Join us next time as Gobplerk, Goblet, and Kaurnflek finally talk to a plant.